A very good evening to you. Thank you for staying with TV3. This is News 360 live from our studio here at Adisawe in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I'm Aisha Yakubu Khalid. A look at our headlines for this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Hundreds of citizens pour onto the streets of Accra for the third day of demonstrations calling for a stop to illegal mining Galamsey. A vigil is underway. We will take you live to the grounds for details.
Also coming up, Presiding Bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kabunabwafo, calls for urgent judicial action to combat environmental destruction.
And Ministry of Education announces it is working towards achieving zero tolerance for indiscipline in Ghana's senior high schools.
On the international front, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, says Lebanon is facing a terrible refugee crisis with people left destitute or displaced by Israeli strikes. Let's settle for the details of our stories. Now, be part of the show. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts on the many stories we have for you tonight.
The three-day protest against illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, and the call for the release of Democracy Hub protesters arrested and remanded in police custody is drawing to a close. Thousands of people have taken to the streets over the last 3 days in a protest held under the banners Free the Citizens and Say No to Galamsey. We'll be crossing over live to my colleague Joseph Armstrong Goldalogbe, who has been covering the protest. But first, let's watch the report he sent.
So the protesters said that the last day was massive, and indeed it is massive as the numbers have increased here from morning 9 a.m. till now almost 7 p.m. and we are still on the road. As I speak to you, we are nowhere close to the final destination yet, and you could see behind you one engaged few of the people here now, and then there's Captain Smart here that has also been supporting this protest. So Captain, you've been with the team from day one, and here we are. Would you say this protest has been a success?
It's been very successful. It's been very successful. We have achieved our aim. And we again, this one is not an appeal. We are asking the government to stop Galamsey now. This is a simple thing we are asking the government to do. Yeah. We are just asking the government to stop Galamsey now.
Okay, so there's Captain Smart there asking the government to stop Galamsey, but I'll talk to some of the other protesters here. So you said you're a farmer. How does this affect your work?
So Galamsey affects the production of food. It will go a long way to also affect Ghana's food insecurity, because food needs water to be cultivated. At the end of the day, no matter where you find yourself in Ghana, the water that is used to grow your food is contaminated. It means what you have on your plate is poison and not nutritious or quality food. So we are asking that all citizens to come together and protest against illegal mining. We are also calling on the government to ban Galamsey. Thank you.
Yeah, so I will talk to this other person now. How are you? You've also been part of this protest for a number of hours now. How has it been like?
It's been amazing. I'm so proud of the Ghanaian youth. You know, they said arise, Ghana youth for your country, and that's what we're doing. We're rising and we're standing up to the illegal mining that's been going on in my country. It's bad. It's very, very bad. People are suffering.
Yeah.
High cases of kidney problems has increased in the past 10 years, and it's all because of Galamsey. So we're just asking the government to put a stop to it. They should do something about it. And the people who are even involved in Galamsey, they need to provide jobs for them, because it's because of the economy. It's over here Galamsey. And then themselves, they're also suffering. So we're just asking the government to do something about it. It's to our leaders, all of our leaders, not just Akufo-Addo, Muhammad, every single person.
Yeah, all right, so these are a few of the protesters there. speaking to us and asking for the president to stop Galamsey. We are going to keep our eye. The next line of action now is a vigil that will happen after 7 p.m. and they are expecting to stay at the Independence Square as long as they want. We'll keep our eye on this development and we'll keep you up to speed how this ends. Joseph Armstrong, Gold, TV3, Accra.
Let's go to the demonstration grounds now and touch base with my colleague Joseph Armstrong, who has been covering the protest since it started on Thursday, October 3 till now. Armstrong, if you can hear me, where are you currently and what is happening there?
Aisha, so finally the protesters are finally converged here in front of the Osu Cemetery near the Accra Sports Stadium. And today I must say that patriotism have been shown by thousands of youth and also some elderly women who have decided to join this protest. It was a massive march from 9 a.m. till now, and currently converged here very close to the Accra Sports Stadium, where the protesters, this is what they are holding. This is the order of the day. Many of them see here, if you don't have this, then you have to carry your phone to show solidarity in support of the 54 protesters that are currently being held in police custody, and also demand that they say, it's now, you can hear the noise in the background now. They are beginning to charge again. And converging here, the aim is to show some documentaries to the general public how Galamsey affected water bodies and degraded the forest reserves, and also demand that the president heed to their calls. They are not going to leave here until 12 a.m., which is the next day. The police have surrounded them, ensuring that there is law and order. Aisha.
Have you spotted any persons? Have you spoken to them? What have they been telling you after you met them at this vigil?
So Aisha, they've been saying that so far the protest has been successful, because you may recall on the one of the protests, they sent a petition to the Attorney General's department, which they have some representatives coming to put the petition on behalf of the Attorney General. On the second day, they also give a petition to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Also, the minister could not show up himself, but he has to send representatives from the ministry to take the petition. Today, their aim is to present a petition to Parliament, but obviously Parliament will not be sitting now. Hence, they are going to read their petition into the air, and whoever hears will send it to the leadership of Parliament. And they are going to educate the public so that wherever place they find themselves, they will be able to educate the youth not to engage in Galamsey. There's another issue they told me, that the next court hearing for the 54 protesters that are currently being in police custody, they will all go not as a group, but as individuals. They will go to the courtroom and ensure that their friends who are being held are freed. They're not going to do anything violent, but they're only going to show sympathy. They are going to go in there in solidarity so that the judge will have some sense of and release the 54 protesters currently being held in police custody, and they are supposed to report again on Tuesday. Aisha.
Well, Armstrong, I can see that the crowd is charging again. Can you show us what is happening there? Maybe a few people, a few placards. Let's see what is going on at this vigil.
Aisha, so this is how they are seated here. Many those who cannot stand their feet because they've been walking from morning till now, they are seated. Many are standing, and they are watching a documentary on Galamsey, showing them pictures and videos of how the Pura, the River Tano, and the River, the other rivers that have been polluted, how they've been destroyed. That is what many of the people here who may have not have visited any of these river bodies, they are just showing it to them for them to see the extent of damage, the extent of pollution of the various major river bodies we have scattered mostly in the Ashanti region, the western region, and the central region. Aisha.
Right, thank you very much. Joseph Armstrong Gold is my colleague at the Free the Citizens and Stop Galamsey Now vigil currently underway in Accra. And definitely we'll go back to him in subsequent bulletins for more right here on TV3.
Certainly. So the hashtag is still trending. Stop Galamsey Now, Free the Citizens. Be part of the conversation. Let's also hear your thoughts on the many stories we have for you this evening. And staying on issues regarding the environment, Former Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng, has called on President Akufo-Addo to heed the calls from citizens and civil society organizations to put an end to the menace of illegal mining. Speaking at the Grand Durbar of the 2024 Yam Festival of the People of the Asogli State in Ho, Professor Frimpong Boateng said Ghana's existence is at stake and urged the president and his government to act.
I wish to call on our President of the Republic to heed the call of citizens, civil society organizations, professional, academic, research institutions, and trade unions to bring an end to the destruction of our forests, farmlands, water bodies, and associated biodiversity. The very existence and future of Ghana are at stake. And Mr. President, I know you care. There's one thing I know very well, which I want you to note, that disobedience and destruction of nature will not be endured for too long. Soon, the holy and righteous God of nature, who rules over all creation and the universe, will destroy those who violate his creation. Finally, I would like to call on all political groupings, especially the ruling party, to ensure that the general elections in December this year will be free and fair without any attempts by any group to subvert the integrity of the electoral process and its results. Our citizens should also be wise and avoid destructive behaviors and violence during the elections. I pray that whichever political party wins will prioritize job creation, protection of the public purse, and the restoration of the environment and its biodiversity.
Also, the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena-Boafo, has voiced concerns over the alarming destruction being inflicted on our environment. While addressing the congregation at the 67th Legal Year Service, the presiding bishop called on the judiciary to rise to the occasion and safeguard the nation's future by placing environmental justice at the forefront of their responsibilities.
There is something also going on which has tilted the scale on the part of a major stakeholder for our existence. The environment, the ecology. It is not just looking for the welfare of human beings, but it is for the welfare of everything that sustains us, so that we can live in that state which God created the world. Everything must be perfect. There are issues of environmental justice, or call it environmental injustice, that we see. When we call for environmental justice, we are calling for the care, the best care and fairness to the environment that sustains us. In our time, it is the menace that we see around called galamsey. The level of injustice to the ecosystem, the environment, the forests, the lands, the water bodies in Ghana is so alarming. The destruction is human-induced. Big men, officials, those in higher places, patronize and give to these young boys who are there. Our role is to make sure that we secure this nation. We secure this nation.
In a related development, calls are growing for organized labor to proceed with its planned strike on October 10, demanding urgent government action on the destructive impact of illegal mining. While President Akufo-Addo is asking for more time to determine the government's next step, many in the public sector, many in the public are warning that given the extent of the damage, swift action is critical. There's more in this News Desk report.
Pressure continues to mount on the government to take steps to secure the future of the country by delaying drastically with the menace of illegal mining, Galamsey. Organized labor plans to strike on October 10 over the issue. President Kufuor on Thursday, October 3, appealed to organized labor to suspend its intention of a nationwide strike. This follows a declaration of strike after the government refused to declare a state of emergency. Labour, among others, wanted the president to place a moratorium on all forms of mining and a declaration of a state of emergency. For a former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kwekwan Sasari, organized labour should go ahead and strike.
Organized labour should not heed the president's advice for the simple reason that the president has not lived up to expectation as regards the promises that he has made the nation. He shouldn't be asking organized labor to do anything. He has not been sincere. He will not be sincere. He will not keep any promise that he will give within the next 8 weeks. So as far as I'm concerned, organized labor should proceed.
President of the Imani Center for Policy Education, Franklin Kujo, also wants Labour to go ahead with its planned action, stating that President Kufuor has not shown any commitment to the Galamsey fight.
As I said, it will be extremely unwise on the part of organized labor to pull back at this stage. I mean, pull back for how many days for the president to do what? Now, this is a president who started off boasting that he would deal with this matter. He wasted our money. We gave him they used $3 million to buy some drones. We don't know where those drones flew to. As we speak, this is a state-sponsored illegal mining. Let's not joke. Let's not prepare it. Let's not make it sound as though it's something light we are dealing with. State-sponsored.
Speaking on the key points, the government spokesperson on governance and security, Dr. Palgrave Bwachidankwa, noted that the government is working to address the issues.
When organized labor brought out their statement requesting for 3 items that the president calls for a state of emergency, revocation of the LI to be able to license small-scale miners, LI 2462, and then a setup of smaller courts to be able to deal with ongoing illegal mining cases. On Thursday at about 9 o'clock, the president met with organized labor, and I thought that was a very swift action.
Professor of Political Science at the University of Ghana, Ransford Jampo, criticized the neck-jerk approach by the government to tackling the issue of illegal mining.
This knee-jerk reaction from government is so pasco and is so nonsensical. You know, when we started earlier, then government said, I've put together an interministerial committee to address the kinds of things that you are talking about. Then the interministerial committee invited Labour. They went, they engaged them, and then they were told that give us 1 week, we'll revert to you on the demands that we've...
Northtown lawmaker Samuel Okuyoto-Ablakwa, who was also on the program, questioned the capacity of state agencies in charge of the mining space to supervise and regulate the sector.
What is the capacity, particularly of the Minerals Commission, of the Environmental Protection Agency, to make sure that these people you are granting licenses to comply, follow the rules? What is even your staffing strength? Have you employed people? Have you opened offices across the country? If they know that they will do all of this without reclaiming the lands, and the authorities don't have the capacity, then what is the sense in engaging in all of this massive issuance of licenses?
The latest research findings by the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, have revealed that Ghana is recording over 24,000 cancer cases each year due to illegal mining, leaving harmful impacts on people. With over 60% of water bodies contaminated, many patients are increasingly built in resistance to medications.
We have roughly about 5 river systems in this country, and all the river systems are almost gone. One of the biggest we have that seem untouched is the Volta Basin. And even in the Volta Basin, they've started mining in the black water and in the white water. And if you don't take care and protect what we have, we will be in a very serious problem.
The days are counting down as to whether organized labor will stick with its promise to strike or allow the president more time to deal with the existential threat of illegal mining.
Right, so let's shift our attention from illegal mining conversations to health. Now, though they are related, this is also one that you need to pay attention to. The Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana has expressed concern over the first confirmed Mpox case in Ghana, along with 230 suspected cases. In a press release, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana emphasized the urgent need for enhanced public health measures following the World Health Organization's reclassification of Mpox as a public health emergency of international concern in August 2024. The society called on the government to strengthen public health surveillance and integrate pharmacists into national response efforts. Let's get further details of this from the society to find out really how they intend to help in ensuring that the one confirmed case remains just one and that we do not have an outbreak of scary proportions. Dr. Emmanuel Owusu-Uwiafe is National Chairman of the Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association. Doc, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for having me.
Some would say it is just one, but one too many maybe. From where you sit as pharmacists, how is it that the one case can be well contained, and what public education from the pharmacist's perspective can you give us?
Okay, so thank you very much. And so from the end of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, we think one case is just enough for us to strengthen systems so that we can be able to deal with it appropriately. And the first thing the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana is calling on is the strengthening of public health surveillance and response. What we are saying is that across the country, I mean, there are several community pharmacies, and so are available also, professional pharmacists across the various districts and regions who can be able to use their expertise together with other health cadres so that we can reach the population with what ought to be done. And then apart from that, we are also calling on government to allocate the needed resources to the various healthcare facilities across the board, i.e. the provision of personal protective equipment to pharmacists and other health cadres so that we can actually curb the spread. We are also calling on the use of vaccination. If possible, we are calling on the government to acquire and then distribute the Mpox vaccines so that at least as many people as possible who may come into contact with persons with, with the virus can be appropriately, vaccinated. And then to the general public, we are first and foremost calling on the general public to observe appropriate personal hygiene. If the population ensures that their hands are regularly washed with soap and water, and then also use appropriate alcohol-based hand sanitizers, we go a long way in curbing the disease. Because one of the main, avenues for the spread is through person-to-person contact, as well as even person-to-animal contact, etc. And then we will call on the general public to avoid close contact, especially with people who are showing signs of these Mpox virus, especially those with skin rashes, etc. And then we should also, as much as possible, avoid contact with wild animals, and then we should be careful how we handle, the carcasses of some of these animals. And then most appropriately also, the use of protective gears, especially, is very, very important. I mean, we could consider the use of the face masks and then gloves, etc. And then we have to be very careful when we are handling even animals especially when we have cuts or abrasions, even and then on our skin. And then most importantly, we are supposed to monitor our health. You know, sometimes you may not know the avenue through which you may have had a contact with an individual who has, you know, come into contact with the virus. And so if you are having symptoms like fever, muscle aches, swollen lymph nodes, rashes, you should seek for immediate medical attention. And then most importantly, in these avenues, we are calling on the public to avoid self-medication. In any of these instances, approach a healthcare center, approach a pharmacist, and then you can actually look at also getting good help from a community pharmacy that is near you.
Doc, you have answered all my questions tonight and even more. We are grateful, and certainly in the coming days we'll be engaging you further to see how we all collectively, especially community pharmacists, can help in spreading the word to ensure that Mpox does not become yet another scary outbreak. We've been speaking to Dr. Emmanuel Owusu-Wiafe, who is the National Chairman for the Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association.
To some more news this evening, the 67th legal year has officially opened with a powerful call for the judiciary to serve as a beacon of hope for all seeking justice. The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, urged officers of the courts to uphold the law as a tool for empowerment, not oppression, and to ensure that justice prevails for every citizen.
Delivering the sermon, the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, called upon members of the judiciary to deeply reflect on their sacred duties as they embark on a new legal year. He urged them to uphold the highest standards of excellence, integrity, and fairness in their duties, reminding them of the weight of their responsibility to the nation.
We serve not only our clients, but also the public interest. And in doing so, we must constantly strive for excellence, integrity, and fairness. The judiciary, as custodians of the law, must not only apply legal principles with precision, but also act as stewards of truth, equity, and fairness.
Emphasizing the importance of upholding justice in accordance with scriptural values, the presiding bishop further charged the judicial service to be stewards of justice.
The scale of justice, and we see that it must always and at all times be balanced. Now more than ever, we are called to remain vigilant stewards of justice, ensuring that our courts remain accessible, our courts become impartial and responsive to the needs of all, irrespective of what. It requires more than words. It requires action.
Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo further charged officers of the court to ensure the law is used to empower and not to oppress.
We must not allow justice to be a commodity available only to those who can afford it. Our legal system, though will not be 100% perfect, must strive to be a beacon of hope. We must ensure that the law is a tool for empowerment, not oppression.
The 67th legal year opening was held under the theme, Building the Pillars of Justice Delivery through Leadership, Innovation and Technology.
Let's turn our attention to some politics this evening. The New Force, a political movement in Ghana, has unveiled its vice presidential candidate barely 2 months to the presidential and parliamentary elections. The new addition, according to the political movement, is the suitable candidate to help propel its vision of giving the people of Ghana a new hope.
Ghana, help me welcome Mrs. Dr. Maria Isaka Chris.
Dr. Mariam Isaka Krisi is a financial expert with over 2 decades of experience in the sector. She was a senior manager at the Securities and Exchange Commission and a business and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana. With a global perspective in finance, the new force believes she can help address the financial and economic crisis of the country.
Every time we unveil a mask, we bring a new opportunity, a new face, a new force, a new strength from this universe. This country can only be built by us. Why so? Because it's for us. If God gives us the chance, we will work for you, we will serve you, and we will be here for you.
Dr. Mariam conveyed her dedication to serve and ensure a better Ghana.
This election is not just about who will lead. It is about the future of our nation. It is about choosing between the old ways of doing things, which have not delivered for the majority of our people, and a new forward-looking vision that seeks to uplift every Ghanaian. The new force offers a path to prosperity, not through promises alone, but through real action, accountability, and innovation. I'm deeply committed to working alongside our presidential candidate, Nana Kwame Bediako, to deliver on our vision.
The New Force movement is in the Ashanti region for a 2-week campaign tour to canvass for votes ahead of the December 7 elections.
Clearly, the battle lines are drawn for December 7, 2024. Here at your Election Command Center, we roll out some more political stories, and presidential candidate for the Movement for Change, Alan Kojo Tremantin, has assured Ghanaians that he will restore the country's declining economy and create more jobs for the youth. Addressing members of the Aswasi community in the Bosome-Freho constituency in the Ashanti region, he underscored his commitment to reviving the economy and alleviating the hardship faced by Ghanaians.
Presidential candidate for Movement for Change, Alan John Kojo Tremantin, is currently on a tour of the Ashanti region, delivering his message of economic recovery and transformation. He noted that his plans will focus on creating sustainable jobs. Youth unemployment is not just an economic problem, it's a threat to our security. When young people don't have jobs, the country becomes unstable. He explained that aligning education with job opportunities is key to his strategy. Alan Tremantin vowed to tackle corruption, stating that his administration will prioritize transparency and accountability. Corruption is the reason why we are not developing as we should. It's the reason why our roads and schools are in poor condition. The Great Transformational Plan of the Movement for Change prioritizes creating sustainable jobs for the youth by promoting entrepreneurship and industrialization.
Some more politics tonight. Government has once again come under intense criticism over claims it has constructed more roads in the history of the Fourth Republic than any other government. Campaigning in Abromase of the Salaga South in the Savannah region, NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama said he will take concerns about their roads seriously and ensure speedy construction when he assumes the reins of power.
Campaign was Salaga South, and I'm the honorable member of parliament say Yemfa Bako Emma Abromase ha. If you say me ba hache, me pese me hu senya enyo city or ha. Me ba enso me ankasa ma be fa mo kwan no so me say abromase for kolo for me mama kuse.
On our way to campaign in Salaga South, we decided to visit Abromase as well. As I drove here, I saw the extent of the destruction on your road, and I sympathize with you. If I am elected, I promise to rebuild it for you.
Afenso enchebia yebet pai districts ne constituencies no mo.
Additionally, I plan to create new districts and constituencies to facilitate development in the area.
Senebeya yebetimi ache mo ha na mo ankasa mo so mwetimi ahwe mo ho ai chese mo ankasa mo gina mo abo constituency.
Still in the NDC, its vice presidential candidate, Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has appealed to the chiefs and called for the Electoral Commission to conduct a free, fair and credible election devoid of violence. She was speaking at Seshuyoso as part of her campaign tour of the Western North region.
The NDC vice presidential candidate has been campaigning in the Western North region for 4 days. She's been to 8 out of the 9 constituencies in the region. Her message is for the electorate to vote massively for John Mahama and the NDC parliamentary candidates in the December polls. The NDC, she says, is the best party at ensuring infrastructural and human development.
Politics, and no one to shrink, and ya attend and I'm the wake and I'm the police. Police on our boy. So by night,
Politics is all about development. It's not about insults. If they had constructed roads, we would have remembered them. If they had constructed a 6-unit classroom block or a secondary school, we would have remembered them. In fact, so government couldn't do anything. Then why are you still voting for the governing party? We must unite. That is why the NDC is bringing good news. One is the big push. The big push is making good roads. If they couldn't construct good roads, we must vote them out.
No, I bet not so fear night, and I bet not so. I watch it. Have most in the farm. Now, because I am most in the farm.
Professor Nana Jane ended her campaign tour of the region at Bibiani and Nyasu Bekwai.
Let's now focus on education, and pupils and teachers of Jabado Primary School in the Saboba district of the Northern Region are sitting on a ticking time bomb as their school structure continues to deteriorate. My colleague Stanley Niblo visited the area and has filed this report.
Go to be fly forever.
After parade, pupils of the Jabado Primary School marched into their classrooms, but were obviously not happy with the school infrastructure. 3 non-spacious classrooms accommodate kindergarten 1 to class 6 pupils in a multi-grade fashion. The weak structure, laced with deep cracks, puts the lives of pupils and teachers at risk, prompting concerns among teachers and parents.
The structure is very outmoded. You yourself being in that structure teaching, you won't find it easy. And again, the structure has also made our enrollment to be going down, especially rainy season. Some of the parents are afraid that the structure may cause danger to their children. So because of that, they don't allow their children to come during rainy season. Looking at the structure, it has a crack, and we don't know when it will fall.
In 2017, a portion of a weak classroom block collapsed and killed 6 kindergarten pupils in Breman Jamra in the central region. At the time, Joseph Asantubedu was the district NAT secretary. Now, he has been transferred to the Saboba district, where another danger looms.
Some of these structures that we have seen, Master, even when we dig deeper, we can see worse ones, which is more deplorable than this one that we have seen. So just listen to a new teacher who find himself in a new environment, meeting this type of structures that we are talking about. The motivation will not be there for him to work as expected. But still, we, the union, NAT, will still motivate them that wherever they find themselves, they should contribute their quota.
Pupils have been compelled to do academic works on the floor, owing to limited furniture. The thatch roof of the building have equally become weak and is unable to hold water when it rains. Water continued to drip inside the class at the time of our visit, and that was where pupils without furniture sit to undertake lessons. The assistant head teacher, Patrick Wajananyinan, says the situation has prevented many teachers from accepting postings to the school.
We can do our best, but the structure has affected us too much. All aspects of teaching has gone down.
Schools like the Jabado Primary are common in the Saboba district. The situation at the Gbalo DA Primary in the Shriponi district is not different. 8 teachers left the school in a single year, leaving only 2 teachers to handle kindergarten 1 to primary 6 pupils, owing to obvious reasons.
The one that you are talking about was the one that we first used, and later on we asked the communities to help, and then they put up this mud building here. There are no furnitures, but KG 1 and 2, that's where they are. We don't have even a single furniture for them. Looking at the condition of the school, because our colleagues are somewhere enjoying, and we are here, even the road to this place, during rainy season like this, you find it difficult. At times there is a stream there. How to cross to this community is very difficult.
Nebugbini in the Karaga district of the northern region is another school. Here, one teacher handles kindergarten 1 to class 5 pupils in one dilapidated class. The poor structure serves as the motivating factor to many pupils, some of whom have now stopped schooling.
Still on education, the Ministry of Education has announced that it is working towards achieving zero tolerance for indiscipline in Ghana's senior high schools. This initiative aims to curb the rising incidence of student violence.
Concerns of growing indiscipline among senior high students have in recent time been topical in public discourse. The recent one being the stabbing of a student to death by his colleague at O'Reilly Senior High School. In some instances, students have attacked their teachers and vandalized school properties to protest against some unfavorable decisions.
The kind of behavior that the students are displaying today is terrible. They beat teachers. Sometimes the parents themselves will come and join their children, go to the school, they beat up the teacher.
Touching on the issue at the 2024 Ghana Teacher Prize event, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edutrim, indicated that measures have been put in place to address this.
Zero tolerance for indiscipline in our high schools. There are where students, when they finish their WASI, go on a rampage destroying school properties will be over. Because we are working, and we're going to be working with tertiary institutions, colleges of education, nursing training colleges, universities, to ensure that when you are moving from high school to the university, you will provide a testimonial. You will have to secure a reference letter talking about your character. So if you go on a rampage and destroy property, that ends your career. Indiscipline should not be tolerated anywhere in our schools.
The award ceremony saw the recognition of hard-working and dedicated teaching and non-teaching staff for distinguishing themselves. 42-year-old Fuseina Fuseni was crowned the overall outstanding teacher for 2024. The kindergarten teacher at Medina SDA Basic School in the Greater Accra region challenged all teachers to do their best in contributing to improve teaching and learning outcomes.
Hard work, they say, pay. And today, hard work has paid me. Anybody now knows me knows that I am a hard-working person, I am an innovative person, I am a creative person, and I'm always ready to work. And I want to encourage all other teachers across the country to always try to put in their best. just do their work. And I know someday God will crown them.
Whilst appreciating the contribution of teachers to national development, the Ministry of Education has assured them of addressing their concerns of conditions of service. The awardees were presented with cash prizes, brand new vehicles and motorbikes, with the overall best receiving a 3-bedroom house.
You're watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return from this break, we'll let you know what's happening in the world of sports with Bill Shen.
How can we solve the unemployment crisis in Ghana? Yes, Massa.
By using formula 133.
Can you expatiate?
Say, this simply means 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. That is the Mahama 24-hour economy policy. Under this policy, businesses will be given tax incentives, cheaper electricity, financial support, and security support services to encourage them to work 24/7 by adopting 3 work shifts of 8 hours each. This will triple job opportunities in the country. This policy will boost production, increase productivity, and generate well-paying jobs in all participating businesses and public organizations.
Excellent. The 24-hour policy will be a game changer.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Want a free bets? You might follow these steps. You can join 1xBet app. Confirm your participation. You can bet on the correct match score. You can get a free bet every week. 1x free bet. Active bonuses for active players.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be addictive.
Esi, Messi and 200 Ghana could jasu sister. Buy you in 5 cities. And 40 Ghana. Hey, take 1 container your 40 to 50 pesos. And not 20 Ghana. And a dancing. Olonka do 30 Ghana. Adai, on my bay money away.
What was our casa? Me show din. Sha, Dokura me di 20 Ghana. Ah, me pay for me 15 Ghana cedi a day. On my bay near woman, ya call ya nati ya sabai.
Share, and yet Diane Bonkuan Kosuru. John Dramani Mahama time. Smith 1 bag. Near 24 Ghana cedis. Main Conto Smith 1 bagger. You see, a 108 cedis. I don't know what Beton is saying. It is to say, so who see Diane saying, and I'll be saying, John Dramani Mahama. Gia, Jabewo,
Yana Bibian from our come back with you. I'll come to the end queen. If I want to buy, then people are buying. What dear more Ancassa, media minimum how. Na media, measure my sitting, no matter.
And a sanity, dear. A year Kufu than any bow near. Yamia Domine said December 7. Trua. You be true, Master said you to buy. You be true, Ancassa.
Shall I sit no more to Abapa? A this a cry a papa beba wa brabum. To Abama John Mahama NDC.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Lishen. Now on to our first story. After the second consecutive goalless draw for the Phobians, following their stalemate with Nations FC, Hartlefolk were once again held to a goalless draw, this time against Indiana FC, and fans expressed their frustrations.
No, I wasn't impressed. Even though they did their best, I was not impressed. I was expecting a goal at least. The team, from all departments of the team, needs, improvement. So for me, I wasn't impressed.
I think the team didn't do well at all. To be playing 10 against 11 and also not being able to win this match, I think it's very unpardonable.
Coach, stand me, catch your paper. Coach was the whole world. Coach, I wasn't a Quatara. He's a politician. I'm telling you, this man is not the coach. He has no brain. He has no brain again. Obi Yama team red card. We are home team. Yama team red card. As a coach, what you do? You take on a striker and bring in a midfielder. You can do what?
But my major problem is with the number 35, Salim. He must sit up and stop that complacency. Because I said I can 3 goals.
House of Folk. I said I love my family. House of Folk team na nya. Ya ni team. Coach Watalo to me why they be ada. Coach Virginia to almost wasa. Moko for Salim Adams.
The fans there were frustrated. Here are the other fixtures in the Ghana Premier League. Mediama just drew 0-0 with Pando Heart of Lions. On Sunday, we have Brekum Chelsea versus Young Apostles, Asante Kotoko versus Accra Lions, Dreams FC versus Nations FC, Karela versus Samatex, Vision versus Basake Holy Stars, and Bibiani Gold Stars versus Bechem United. It was a fantastic day for Mohamed Kudus as he opened the scoring accounts for the season in West Ham United's win over Ipswich Town, as the midfielder scored the second goal of the game and the Hammers came from behind. Kudus first came into the game in the 38th minute as he saw his header come off the post following a cross from Leif Davis. The Ghanaian pounced on a rebound after Antonio's efforts to head into the net and restore Julian Lopetegui's side's lead. His goal also means the player has been involved in 22 goals for the club since joining them from last season. Now moving on to the Premier League, Liverpool beat Crystal Palace by 1-0 to remain top of the Premier League table. Arsenal and Manchester City also came from behind to win their respective home games as well.
Into Havertz, it's Kai Havertz! It's in! Bukayo Saka, lovely angle, and that... Forward here for Arsenal as Martinelli to his left. Saka!
This is Iwobi now. Jimenez again, trying to create one for Pereira. It's beautifully made. Diaz rising. Kovacic! Bernardo Silva. Kovacic! Oh, he enjoyed that one. Options gathering in the middle. He fancies it himself. Oh, that is fantastic. Nelson. Muniz. In.
But the point is he'd happily delay it. This is what I'm trying to say, but the job was done. But
Pass. Gakpo. And Gakpo into a great area where it's tucked in, polished off eagerly, gleefully by Diogo Jota. And it's taken 8 minutes for the league leaders to strike.
A great day for the big boys in the Premier League, but what does this mean? Bukayo Saka now leads the assist chart with 7 assists in 7 games. Liverpool have 5 clean sheets in 7 Premier League games, and Manchester City have gone 30 consecutive games unbeaten in the Premier League, leveling the record they set in 2017 to 2018. That's it for sports here on News 360. My name is Bill Shen, and up next is entertainment.
It's now time for entertainment, and we have been joined by Bono Region's Era. You're looking lovely. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
And how are you preparing for Sunday?
Well, we are preparing to give you the best tomorrow.
We can't wait. Take away. It's 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Era, representing the Bono Region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. This is the entertainment news on News 360. Voters Region's representative in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful, Makafui says retaining the coveted crown for the region is her top priority. The 25-year-old nurse is counting on the support of her fans to emerge victorious.
My name is Makafui, and I am a health entrepreneur. As a certified preventive health nurse, I've seen firsthand the healthcare challenges in rural communities in Ghana.
She is bold, intelligent and self-motivated. Makafui's GMB journey has been thrilling and, in her own words, a life-changing experience.
My journey on GMB has been nothing but the best. All the judges are my favorites. I like them all because they are the ones seeing what you are doing. So whatever they say is true. And their positive comments pushed me harder.
The native of Agbozome seized the opportunity to market and update viewers on the historical sites, diverse landscape and the vibrant culture of the people of the Volta region. With the Volta region being the current holders of the GMB crown, expectations are high that Makafui will step up her game to retain the crown.
Where the competition has gotten to, it's very tough and crucial. So my winning depends on you, my winning depends on me. It's 50-50. Let's do it hand in hand. And God will let us retain the crown in the Volta region.
The 25-year-old nurse is going into the grand finale with high hopes of repeating history. Makafui urged her fans to vote for her to make her dream of wearing the GMB crown a reality.
Ghana duakata enyo Makafui ya. Manyama de Q. Madak banamire mi pakpakpara mchogoma jeja vasere fifia manyere kanyen sewe nyang sakple mi afan sakple mau fan se yepron vasere afia va fia ho bevle va doa amasasam va manya ba mi le kpakpla duta ni wogano anyu la mi kumia ho mofoka na mi afo *713*13#. Ado me download MG Reality app, the Google Play Store, or Apple App Store. Na me dakona Makafui.
No viwo aklingwe mi adorovo, adachi age jimalafo mi ajijo.
Aklingwe mi adorovo, adachi age. Nanya vyo klingwe mi adorovo, adachi age.
Well, tomorrow is the grand finale of Ghana's Most Beautiful. Do well and grab a ticket. Come and watch amazing performances. Dial *713*13# to vote for Era massively so that this year we can win the Ghana's Most Beautiful crown for the first time in the Bono region. Thank you. Once again, my name is Era, representing the Bono region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Era, for entertainment. All the best in the finale tomorrow. Let's now do some international news.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, says Lebanon is facing a terrible refugee crisis, with people left destitute or displaced by Israeli airstrikes. According to Lebanese authorities, more than 1,110 people have been killed in Israeli strikes since 23rd September, with more than 1.2 million people displaced by the ongoing fighting. More Israeli airstrikes have hit Beirut after the Israeli military warned people in a southern suburb to evacuate. Israel and Hezbollah have reported more fighting in southern Lebanon as Israel's ground offensive continues. Hezbollah continues to fire rockets into northern Israel. Meanwhile, reports say Hezbollah has lost contact with Hashem Safieddine, a possible successor to its late leader Hassan Nasrallah. An Israeli airstrike targets Safieddine on Friday. 2 senior Hamas figures have also been killed in northern Lebanon in an Israeli strike.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with us. I am Martin Asiedu-Dati.
And I'm Aisha Yakubu Hali. Showbiz 360 is up next. Good evening.
Explore the nature and create from it the spirit.